Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
Do you like to jam, man?
I like to jam in jam bands.
Oh, I love jam bands.
I'm Adam Maness,
And I'm Peter Martin.
and you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Daily jazz advice coming at you.
How you feeling there?
I'm feeling pretty good,
Feeling
man.
pretty good?
You, can we talk about our new sponsor?
Is it Old Granddad? Wait, what is
Old
it?
Granddad.
Yeah, Old Granddad.
I feel like my old granddad is. So you bought a bottle of Old Granddad the other day for the You'll Hear It podcast.
I'll tell you. Can I tell you the story, even though
Please.
you were there?
Yeah.
So we went to lunch. We went to this new spot that has a bunch of coffee and cigars and wine and beer and bourbon. And I didn't see any bourbon on the shelf. And so I asked the lovely young woman working there, I was like, do you have any bourbon? Where's the bourbon? And she said, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to go across the street and
buy some.
and bring you some bourbon. And I was
we
like,
don't know where.
damn it, now I have to buy
I know.
something she brings back. She left and went across the street. So she came back with 3 bottles. And she said, this one's expensive, this one's medium, and this one's cheap. And I was like, I'll take the cheap one, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
But it was actually really nice.
Right.
Bottle of bourbon. So
Old Granddad.
we have this like really strong Old Granddad here.
So,
It's good though.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's Friday, so.
Hump day.
Hump day.
sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
now see, he finally gets it. I like it.
No, I was teasing you.
All right, so today we're talking about something, and this is a listener question via email, all right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is something that we really get a lot of questions from different situations, different channels. So I think it's good. And it's funny because I don't really think about this a lot, but we're talking about jam sessions.
Jam sessions.
I don't think about it because I'm like, not that I don't go to jam sessions still, but it's always so spontaneous, right?
Right.
And I think this might be kind of from a different angle.
So I would imagine your life and the jam sessions relationship at this point is like you're at a fancy jazz festival somewhere. And then like people are like hanging at the hotel afterwards and playing, and someone is, you know what I mean? Is that accurate? Or like a house session?
Yeah, well, it's more just like the promoter will be like, after the gig, will be like, oh, we want to take you out to dinner and drinks. Please come with us. And then we get there, and it turns out it's a jam session.
Oh.
And then people start coming over and saying, oh, I love the performance.
Come
And
on.
It's so great that you're going to be playing
Stop
again.
it.
It's like a free gig for them. So I have a little bit of an aversion to that. But I usually end up doing it because I actually love music.
Yeah, of course.
And so, yeah. But it's such a big part of the history of jazz.
For sure.
And over the years, and there's different types and stuff, so it's important.
Our friend Bob DeBoo hosts a jam session here in St. Louis every Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. Check it out, Kransberg Arts Center, if you're in St. Louis or around St. Louis. And so sometimes,
Grand Center.
you know, he does the thing where like the first set he'll have special guests, like good pros come in and play. Sometimes he invites me to come play, which I'm honored to do. And so then I'll hang for the jam session. So
You're kind of an old pro.
Yeah, I'm an old pro. So we have a question here from Geerton, who asks, what are your thoughts, experiences on jam sessions? Do you like going to jam sessions? What do you expect from a session you enjoy? How do you think I can organize my jam session better in order to maybe enhance it musically without changing the concept? So Geerton had a very long email to lead up with this about the jam session that he hosts in Belgium. He's a bass player.
Yeah.
You know, he's worried about the quality of the music at jam sessions. So the first thing I will say is that a good jam session should cater to the players that are there.
Right.
First and foremost.
Situational awareness, right?
And any good jam session might flux in quality violently.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in a place like New York, it could be very, very sad.
Right.
1 minute. And then the next tune could be unbelievable.
That's right.
You know, it could be amazing.
And if you're somewhere else, it could be very, very sad and stay that way the whole
It
time.
might. You know, even here, like it could be, you know, a lot of beginners who are just trying to like get through. Now's the time.
Yeah.
And it's not really happening. And maybe the drummer's left-handed and drags, and then maybe the next tune, it's like a bunch of cats show up who are, you know, touring, or some local cats or whatever, and it's like it's happening all of a sudden. So I think like you kind of have to let some of that go, especially if you're the host of the jam session. But I do think there's some things you can do for you to help make it better, like move it along.
Yeah.
Let's not ramble at a jam session. That's just bad etiquette. You know, you're not there to take 100 choruses of Cherokee.
Right. Well, and I mean, I think this is the number one pet peeve of of rhythm section players,
For sure.
other people waiting, and the audience
For sure.
is the tunes being too long.
Yeah.
And it's such an easy thing to solve, but
Yeah.
yet it should be easy, should be simple, but it's not. It's simple, but it's not easy. But I think this idea of the audience should be the first thing we think about. I know it's usually the last because we're like, oh, jam session, that's for me. I get to play this. I'm going to sit in. I get to do this. And normally there's still an audience there, right? Because otherwise it's not a jam session.
No, there's usually an audience.
Otherwise it's like a house session or whatever.
But if you're a horn player and you see that the horn player before you has been playing Cherokee for 8 minutes now,
Yeah.
just
you're like,
don't solo.
no,
Just-
but most of them, they're like, wow, okay, so this is an 8-minute per
Yeah.
solo kind of jam session. Awesome.
Just imagine if you were the bass player having to walk quarter notes for those
know.
8 minutes and the 8 minutes before. Just take the next one.
And if
you
you're
know?
the person listening, and look, a lot of times jam sessions are, I guess, like free, no cover charge, right?
Usually,
Because they suck, basically, to the listener. But why does that have to be? So somebody coming to hear jazz for the first time, maybe they're like, oh, I'm not going to buy a ticket, but there's a jam session. That seems like something I've seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Then they come and like have the worst listening experience to like whatever 45-minute one Cherokee rendition.
But then sometimes you can have this thing where this, a kid will get up and then blow this roof off the place, and everybody's like,
And you're not
"What?
going to
Who is
believe
this
what he
kid?"
did on chorus number 12.
Another tip I would give you, Geerton, is to organize your jam session. Like you're frustrated by the level of some of the musicians and feeling like the better musicians are getting frustrated. You can, as the leader, you can obviously decide when and who gets to play, who and when they get to play. So you can, once you know the musicians, be like, maybe this group of players can play a tune or two together, and then the advanced guys can, go for a cigarette or something and come back. I mean, it's Belgium. I assume everybody smokes.
Yeah.
But you come back and
Beer and smoking.
and play, together, or maybe even break it up. Only one beginner plays at a time. You know what I mean? Like some strategies like that, I think would be good.
Yeah. Yeah, and now I'm remembering. I've been to this festival a couple times. I've been to Ghent at least 2 or 3 times, and it is an amazing jazz festival that they have there. And I mean, I'm so impressed. It's not a big city, but Belgium's is a really densely populated, teeny little country that you can drive across and back again in the same day. But there is an outsized number of good musicians there. Holland, Belgium, what else is over by there? For sure, those 2 countries. And I mean, the thing is, like, that is really like your talent pool, like what we're talking about in terms of etiquette and structure and all that. It always is going to come down to the quality level. I mean, rhythm section, horn players, whatever, because then that's when you're able to get away with, the inevitable lull in judgment, maybe in terms of playing too long or even the wrong thing or whatever, the wrong choices of how you're going to segue to the next thing or whatever. But if you got the kind of a good majority of good musicianship somewhere floating around on the stage and in the wings and everything, that can kind of make up for a fair amount of bad judgment.
Yeah,
I hope.
I think so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
You don't look convinced though. You look skeptical.
No, I think that's a good point.
All right, let's talk about let's turn positive. Okay. Let's talk about some of the best jam session situations we've ever been in.
Oh man, I mean, usually it's when there's just monster players all around and it's super fun and family, feels like family.
Yeah,
those kind of situations. I love those.
And I think those situations really for the audience can be thrilling.
For sure.
Because there's you would think that there's more of like an inside job kind of, we're all together, we're doing this. But, really good players and then usually in that kind of situation, because look, at a jam session, you're always going to have more spontaneity than almost any kind of set gig. I mean, we talk about like, man, that gig felt like a jam session. It was so random, because you don't know what's going to be played. You don't know what someone's going to sound like. You've never played together, mostly. Yeah. And the unexpected is going to happen. And so there's some good things with that. And so if you can harness that into a positive jam session experience, there's kind of nothing like it.
It could be very, very special. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Geerton, for the email. Please keep them coming, folks.
Right.
And hey, we haven't talked about, you'll hear it premium all week.
Premium, as opposed to you'll hear it normale, as we are calling this now.
No, there's nothing normale about this
That's
podcast,
true.
bro.
That's true.
No, but we do have a premium membership. Support the podcast if you love it.
Yeah.
You can go to you'llhearit.com, and it's very, very affordable, and you get some really cool stuff.
Yeah, and we were talking about, like, it's taken us a little minute, let's be honest, to kind of lean into this idea of supporting, because we're not like, well, we are kind of big PBS, NPR guys, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing about this is like, this takes time, money, and resources, and we want to keep doing this. We want to up the game. We're looking at a new space to move, and even to get into here and Andrew's time and the mics and everything. And like, we really want this to be a fun experience for you guys to consume. And we're big podcast listeners and watchers, so we know what it's like when, even if the content is good and the quality is low. And so we want to keep doing this, and we don't want to have a bunch of commercials and stuff. Obviously, we're sponsored by Open Studio. We do mention that from time to time. But we want to kind of give you guys, 10, 12, 14 minutes of fun. So we just ask for a little support. If you're feeling it, no pressure.
Yeah,
you can do it later.
But then you do get some benefit.
Cheapskate. Way to go.
You get a new premium episode every month. You get a new premium video every week, a little fun video. But the premium episodes are great. They're at the piano. There's usually some kind of worksheet or transcription or notation of some kind.
We got September coming up soon. We just have one so far for August because we just started.
And it's popping. It's very popular. Yeah. And then you get discounts on swag. You get the archive. You get the Facebook group. You
get to come into the community, which is what we're super excited about. And so consider it.
Yeah.
And as you can. Yeah. And until tomorrow,
you'll hear it. Normale.